Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. My name is DFree. Here today we are using God Key, but we are using them in Ultimate Battle Season number 1, where every single unit on our team and the enemy's team does get bumped up to being 14 stars. So we're going to have some really crazy, really tight matches in this video. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe, of course, if you're new for more content, as well as notifications so you don't miss anything we upload here on the channel going forward. Now, the most important thing I want to mention is that I recorded these matches while I was on the treadmill earlier, and it was a ton of fun, right? So in general, with this video, look at it as kind of like, I don't want to say like a guide, but I get asked a lot to do kind of guides and stuff like that. I'm not at all the best player, but I am always kind of striving to learn new things and just kind of get better to show you guys better gameplay, right? And that's one of the huge things for me personally. But think of this video kind of like as a guide, because at points I do pause, kind of explain the thought process, give you things to look out for, so it can be kind of educational in that instance. But anyways, this is going to be a fun one, and we have some really crazy matches. I hope you guys enjoy. Hit that subscribe, of course, and if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit the thumbs up, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Okay, let's take a look at this one here versus a Fusions team. Now, I had a lot of fun in this match. Like, it was really interesting. Like, this was a very, like, okay, so, like, multiple things had to go right. Like, that's normally the case with these matches. A lot of things had to kind of go right. You guys know that. You need to maybe not get guessed. You need to get your opponent on this or that sidestep, like, things like that, right? So this is one of those matches where I had a lot of things kind of break right. We did have a little bit of lag here, but it wasn't anything that obviously was, like, game-breaking or was able to determine the actual match. So looking at things here, I actually thought that, okay, so there's that. I kind of thought that he was going to bring, he had like a Saiyan bench, if I recall. I kind of thought he was going to bring some of those units, but it wasn't the biggest of deals. Also, a couple of things happened for me. I didn't want to bring Rose into this match. The reason why is because I know he goes neutral. By the way, this is super early. I know he goes neutral, but I didn't want to have that liability of, if he's not neutral, having a unit that is at a deficiency, right? For the most part, multiple units at that deficiency, because naturally, Fusions is an interesting team. Like, they've got the red unit that's really good at dealing with yellows that would obviously be pressuring their main star, the purple Vegito. They've got a really good blue unit. They've got some really interesting tools that allow them to match up well, actually, versus God Key for the most part, right? So that's kind of some of what I was thinking about a little bit here in terms of my choice. I wanted to have at least a couple of units that had access to advantage, though. So here we go. Going to avoid using strikes. As you guys know, Vegito does like to knock you back. But since I didn't charge step, the thing about that is if you're charge stepping and sidestepping, because I don't really charge step on the strike cards, the reason why is because you might as well just sidestep and get that vanish back. It's not really worth it. But if you kind of like sidestep or like charge step and then sidestep, kind of the way I do, it can be a tell, oh, hey, I'm going to go for a strike this time, because there is a clear difference with what you're doing. If you just charge step, then you go for a sidestep. So that's kind of one of the things to keep in mind. Okay, so he actually tried to get me with a tackle bait. Tackles are ultra OP. Like, the bait and also the vanish out at the last second type of deal, tackles have become a real problem in this version, especially as people have mastered the usage of them more. And not just, again, the bait of the vanish, the ability to, if they kind of go for a strike, also still being able to vanish out yourself, it's crazy huge. That's crazy huge. So I am still trying to work on mastering it myself. I recognize how to match up with it a little bit, but it's still pretty profound. So here we go. I'm going to throw in SSG here just for some disruption. Personally, I meant to bring SSG into this match regardless of who the enemy had, and I felt like he had a good matchup anyway. But I specifically brought him in just for disruption. So the only downside is in a matchup versus Super Vegito, he can remove my nullification, or my endurance. Nullification, endurance, what am I thinking? My reduction, there we go. But hey, I can remove his buffs too for what that's worth for the moment, because obviously you know Vegito stacks buff just for breathing, right? He's able to get them back. So I had one of those little things go right for me here when barely. I'm trying to get that green card to go for a Godbind. It's kind of not wanting to drop in for me. I go for that. I was ready to swipe out just in case at the last second. Didn't wind up mattering. I switch here. He's able to switch preemptively out. But I'm in an interesting spot with Kaioken because I don't have to worry about dealing with a red unit anymore. But what I do have to worry about is that timer, right? I'm in a weird spot because of timer. So the main ability was there just to allow me to stop clock. I thought he went for a sidestep, actually. I could have swore on everything he went for a sidestep after I vanished. That's why I went into a strike there. But I guess that really wasn't the case. Again, hindsight's 20/20. Some of this stuff in real time is a lot harder to determine, but I could have swore he went for a sidestep because you can actually hear, if you're listening, the sound effect of the character doing this sidestep. So Goku's huge for me. This Goku's actually aged really well. He's still very good. Very, very good. I go for a strike here. I'm going to cancel because Vegito. I did it long range, so he saw it, by the way. That was 100% intentional to try to get the Vegito. I switch here because I kind of fell for that, and I didn't want to lose the blue Goku. I didn't mind losing this this Goku at this point, though. Yeah, it was intentional to do that, and the little things like that are how you play around cover change units like that Vegito. Like, I don't really struggle with movies that much. I mean, Gohan is annoying if he gets on a combo, but Bojack isn't a problem for me. Like, because you can play around him very easily if you know what you're doing. And that was kind of what I did. And I did it from long range without like going forward or whatever on purpose. Immediately going into a rush here because I want to get rid of this guy. Now that I've lost my yellow unit, by the way, he is now my biggest threat. So definitely want to make sure I get rid of Super Vegito. So here we go. I get guessed though. I would have got him otherwise. Now this turns into a crazy match of like durability, sustainability, things like that. Speaking of which, I drew a green card that I'd love to use with this Goku. Unfortunately, I got baited there. Unfortunately, I could have got him with the strike. Didn't work out. I got baited, unfortunately. So again, little things like that in the heat of the moment. You got to get that timing right. I figured he'd go for another one. And so like right there, I had to delay the heck out of that sidestep. Hold on. Let me just go ahead and pause this. I delayed that sidestep so big time. You can even see how long I waited, right? But the ability to stop the clock by using a main ability or sometimes like a green card gives you that added instance, which is why I thought earlier with Kaioken I got him. The ability to do that is huge, right? Let me show you that again. So, okay, it's not, okay, there's the sound. Okay, so right here, watch. I could have swore that I got the look at that. I didn't even sidestep until the whole animation was over. That's huge, but since he paused the clock, he saw it. Otherwise, the sidestep would have cut short, right? And right here, like I mentioned, vanishing out like that at the last second. I legit didn't go until he used the main ability. And since he saw it, I was burned for the most part. But since he went for a blast, which little tip, if you didn't know, blasts are slower in the animation. Excuse me. They will lose that match versus the strike, which is why I went immediately in, because I knew I was burned, basically, right? So little things like that are kind of like, actually, part of the reason why I like doing post-commentary is because I can explain stuff like that. I'm in a weird spot here. I tried to drop combo knowing he'd come in, and it works out. I actually drop comboed a little bit longer. Now, I'm not going to go charge step. I'm just going to go side step because I get my vanish back. So that's kind of the reason why right here. And my vanish is back now, so I'm not worried. He probably thinks I didn't have any vanish, right? But I wasn't worried at that point anymore. So here we go. Again, sidestepping. My Goku's recovering vanish really quickly because he has access to that one equip that allows for him, and tap punches there, thank you, allows for him to recover vanish a little quicker, right? Any Goku can use it. It's very good. So I was indecisive there. I was waiting for my vanish. I could have got him again on the strike with the tackle. And look at that. Like I mentioned. It's like right here, I tried to delay the heck out of that. But I didn't get it. I didn't react quick enough. I delayed the literal hell out of that one. I just couldn't get it quick enough. Single tap coming in clutch. I delayed that one so big, right? So right here, I'm going for this. He can see what I'm doing. He made the right read, actually. A lot of people will use a strike there thinking it's a tackle. So here's the conclusion of this one. This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm happy I didn't wait for a sidestep. Here we go. That's a crazy conclusion, right? I would have never, ever in my wildest dreams thought that that was going to be how I'd win a match with this like this. Like, if he won that, I lose the game. It's that serious, right? That's crazy. So that was huge, man. Let's run another one here. Now, this one was literal hell. Reverses Zenkai Buu, freaking 21. I figured he'd bring these three, so I obviously brought full color advantage. And I'm purposely trying to use God Key without the debuffs of Rose for this video, right? Like I mentioned earlier, I missed my charge step there, so I converted it. Like I mentioned earlier, the thing about this team is that I feel like they're kind of dependent on having Rose. Not really, but to a degree, because his debuffs are so huge for them. They're so profound. They make such a difference. So it makes the matches so much harder for me if I don't have access to that, right? So here we go. I figured he'd switch. I'm going to get as much damage as I can. Godbind is actually nuts because it not only does it stall the enemy there, it gives my whole team a damage bonus, which is crazy, by the way. So I got a damage bonus going into the rush here. And just for the record, you want to rush this guy most of the time, or baby, either one. But if you don't kill him, you better make sure you kill him quick, because he'll just mess around and heal his entire team from, you know, being in red HP or whatever, orange HP, to being at max. He can do that. So you definitely want to get rid of him ASAP, man. You don't want to fiddle with this guy. You don't want to mess around with him. Now that I got rid of him, though, the cool thing is I can recklessly use SSG Goku's cover, right? It's kind of one of the things. I try to stop the clock here intentionally. I see the exclamation. Unfortunately, we're too close for me to do anything. So I had to turn it into another one. And that was a very good delay from him. Let's just rewind that a little bit. I kind of talked about how I was delaying, right? And I talked a little bit in the last match about how stopping the clock. And this Goku's one of the better ones to do it because he has so many things he can do, especially alongside Whis. Which, by the way, Whis would make this a lot easier too because of the damage bonuses and green cards. But I talked about that, you know, ability a bit, right? So if we take a look here, he delayed the sidestep so much, and I tried to wait thinking he would delay it. And that's one of the things that kind of happens, right? It turns into a ticky-tacky last-second type of deal. Watch this. Watch how late he vanishes. He waited until the entire animation was done. Literally. That was about the same thing as what happened with me and SSG in the last match. The whole animation was done before he vanished. But he got it at the right time. Perfect timing, right? Okay, so I'm actually playing 21 for the tackle. I think he's going to go for a tackle because he's staying at mid-range. And instead, he turns it into a rush. And I don't need this guy anymore. He's really tanky, but he would have been so much better had he took a couple of hits beforehand for the extra damage reduction. I played green, shouldn't have chose green. I thought about strike, was wrong. I'm thinking he'd live this. He doesn't. He died by like a whole, like, what, 700,000 or whatever. Like right there, hold on. I got him with the sidestep. He kind of drifted to this. I got him. I just was impatient. I got him. Puts Vegeta in a weird spot because he got a perfect vanish. Not much I can do about that. Good news is Vegeta's tanking these pretty well, and he's got those green cards. He's actually very similar with those green cards to the blue Goku from the previous match. The green cards on these guys is nuts, man. The ability to heal like that and also get damage bonuses and stuff is crazy. I didn't expect the switch. He just heard me. Hold on. Okay. This is the last thing I kind of want to pause. Remember how I mentioned you can hear the sidesteps? I'm going to be quiet here. When he uses his main ability, you hear Vegeta go, ha! That's because I had already input the command, and he can hear that, so he knows I'll sidestep. Something burned in that instance, right? And this is cool, because this is why I like doing post-commentary, because I can help you guys if you don't know these things, right? Listen to this. Okay, that's a little too soon, because the volume didn't kick back in. Okay, let's go right here. Did you hear that? The ha was right there. And feel free to rewind a little bit, turn up your volume, you might need to. But the ha was right there, and he heard that, right? And that put him in a priority position, right? Perfect vanish, nothing I can do about that. I do switch out here. It's funny because it's a 2v2 where I've got advantage because I knew what he'd bring anyway. So it's kind of the benefit of being predictable. So, of them being predictable. I figured he'd go for a tackle at some point. I got to play him for it, and I'm just going to go ahead and do all this stuff really quick so we can't bring out Baby. 21 is really annoying because she can switch in super fast. She's got like 5 on her count, like what, 3 times or something stupid like that. She switches a lot and very fast. And again, another instance where he delayed the heck out of the sidestep. So like I had to play 21 weird. Okay, so Goku's about to lose his transformation. And I'm cautious of Vegeta getting rushed. That's the thing I'm really worried about. I don't want the Vegeta to get rushed. So I switch out. I tried to. The transformation ruined it. But I was close enough to be able to pull this off. Eat a little bit of time here with some side steps just so Goku can come back a little quicker. Also, those damage bonuses on my allies would be really good. You know, if I used them properly. I didn't use this Vegeta enough in this match because 21. Good damage there. Got another green card at the right time, by the way. Look at that heel jump, man. Perfect vanish again. Right here, I'm praying he doesn't rush me immediately. If he had it, he should have gone right into it, bro. Now I can switch out again. If he had it and he didn't go right into it, he just made the biggest mistake of his career. Because now I'm good to go, right? And there's not much you can do. So there we go, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe, of course, if you're new.